Close your eyes for a second. You're sitting down. Someone is leaning over you. In their hand is a tool, sharp, made of stone. They bring it to your back molar, and they start to scrape. No chair that reclines, no overhead light, no needle to numb the gum first. Just the pressure, the sound, that sound, and whatever you're biting down on to keep from screaming. Now open your eyes. Because here's the thing I need you to understand right now, before we go any further. That wasn't a punishment. That wasn't torture. That was dental care. And it was happening 14,000 years ago. Ripley's Cave, France, 14,000 BCE. In 2017, researchers published a paper describing something found inside a human molar from a cave in Villeneuve, France. The tooth was roughly 14,000 years old. Upper Paleolithic. The ice was still retreating from Europe, and the tooth had been worked. Deliberately. Someone had taken a flint tool and used it to scrape the interior of a decaying molar, cleaning out the rot, clearing the damaged tissue. This wasn't accidental damage, this was treatment. That idea, that you could do something about tooth pain, is older than agriculture, older than the wheel, older than written language by about 10,000 years. The oldest known intentional dental work on Earth predates the invention of farming. Before humans had figured out how to reliably grow food, we had already figured out that you could scrape rot out of a tooth and make someone feel better. That's not primitive fumbling. That's a hypothesis, and it worked. Mehrgarh, Pakistan, 7,000 to 5,500 BCE. But scraping is one thing, drilling is another. You have an infected molar. It's 5,000 BCE. The infection has burrowed deep into the tooth. Your options are do nothing and watch it spread to your jaw, your skull, your bloodstream, or let someone drill into the living tooth to clear it out. The people of Mehrgarh, in what is now Pakistan, picked the drill. Archaeologists found 11 drilled molars from multiple individuals over a period spanning roughly 1,500 years. This wasn't one rogue genius with a sharp stick. This was a practice, a repeatable technique passed down across generations. The tool they used was a bow drill, the same tool used to start fires. A cord wrapped around a spindle, pulled back and forth to generate friction. They fitted it with a flint bit, pressed it to the tooth, and worked it down into the enamel. The sound alone, the vibration traveling up through the jaw into the skull, the smell, the heat, no sedation, no numbing agent. And here is the part that should stop you cold. Of those 11 drilled teeth, 0 signs of post-procedural infection. 0. Modern dentists work in sterile environments with precision instruments and pharmaceutical-grade antiseptics, and they still occasionally see post-op infection. These Neolithic proto-dentists, working with fire-starting tools in the open air of a prehistoric settlement, achieved outcomes that hold up statistically even by contemporary standards. Slovenia. Approximately 4,500 BCE a tooth found in Slovenia dated to approximately 6,500 years ago. A canine with a visible crack running through it. A crack that, left alone, would expose the nerve. Constant, grinding pain every time air moved across it, every time something cold touched it. But the crack wasn't left alone. It had been filled with beeswax. Someone took beeswax, softened it, pressed it into the crack, and sealed it. And the filling is still there. Still inside the tooth, still intact after 6.5 millennia. Whoever did this understood, not formally, but empirically, that sealing the crack reduced the pain, that keeping air and bacteria out of the exposed tissue helped, that the wax would hold its shape. That is applied dental theory. In the Stone Age, ancient Egypt, approximately 1,550 BCE. By the time the Egyptians got involved, things started to look almost organized. The Ebers papyrus contains dental prescriptions, recipes for mouth rinses, instructions for paste to treat loose teeth, directions to pack infected gums with a mixture of honey, ochre, and plant resin. That last one isn't as random as it sounds. Honey has natural antibacterial properties. Ochre, iron oxide, has documented antimicrobial effects. Plant resin creates a physical barrier with its own antiseptic compounds. It cleaned the wound, it reduced bacterial load, it sealed the nerve. That's not superstition. That's a protocol. 3,500 years ago, someone in Egypt wrote down how to treat a toothache, and the reasoning still holds up under a microscope. The Etruscans, 700 to 600 BCE. The Etruscans decided that if you were going to lose a tooth, you might as well replace it, and do it with gold. From burial sites across northern Italy, archaeologists have recovered Etruscan dental bridges, thin bands of gold wire, shaped and fitted to anchor replacement teeth to the existing ones around them. Functional prosthetics, worn in life. The craftsmanship required a precise understanding of bite mechanics, how much pressure a bridge could take, how to distribute force across multiple teeth, how to secure the anchor points without damaging surrounding enamel. 700 years before the Common Era, Etruscan craftspeople were doing functional restorative dentistry in gold. Rome. The Romans professionalized the whole thing and then immediately made it terrifying. Roman medical texts describe tooth extraction using iron forceps and vinegar as an antiseptic rinse. The physician Archigenes documented dental procedures with clinical specificity that reads almost like a modern surgical guide. Drilling into teeth to relieve pulp pressure, post-extraction wound care, managing what happened after the procedure, not just during it. Roman surgeons handled extractions for ordinary citizens, and Roman military culture added a detail that feels almost too on brand. Soldiers who filed their teeth to sharp points for intimidation. Because of course they did. Now, collapse all of that time. 14,000 years ago, a flint scraping rot from a molar in a cave in France. 9,000 years ago, a bow drill spinning into a living tooth in Pakistan. 0 infections. 6,500 years ago, beeswax pressed into a crack in Slovenia, still there today. 3,500 years ago, an Egyptian scribe writing down how to pack infected gums. 2,700 years ago, a gold wire bridge fitted over a replacement tooth. 2,000 years ago, iron forceps, vinegar rinse, a Roman surgeon who knew to follow up. One continuous thread of human beings sitting down, or being held down, or biting something, or just white-knuckling through it, while someone tried to fix what was broken in their mouth. No anesthesia, no sterile field, no pain management beyond endure it. And across that entire span, the same thing, people figuring it out. Not by luck, not by magic, by watching and trying and seeing what worked and doing it again. 11 drilled teeth, 0 infections, a filling, still sealed after 65 centuries. These were not people fumbling in the dark. These were people doing applied problem solving under conditions of raw, unmedicated, unrelenting suffering and getting results that hold up. Come back to that room, that tool in someone's hand, the scraping, the pressure, the smell of flint on enamel. You thought you were looking at torture? You were looking at the beginning of medicine. All sources are linked in the description below. Go check them out. They're genuinely worth the read. If this is the kind of history that keeps you up at night, subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from. And maybe book that dental appointment you've been putting off.